Look, the Grey Wardens are here. The raid tomorrow must be more than a standard mission. The Wardens only go where the Darkspawn are the greatest threat.
My Lord Iduka, might I bother you for a moment? Many thanks for your willingness to hear me out, my lord. I wish to speak to you of a matter most urgent. Of course, I shall await your pleasure. You've returned. Might you have time to talk now? First, let me congratulate you on your commission. 2 of King Endrin's children now commissioned war leaders. It does great honor to your house. Of course, I didn't stop you just to express my loyal affections. There is a vote coming before the Assembly next week, and a word from you could go a long way towards helping our cause. Oh, I would never ask a favor with nothing given in return. I propose a mutually beneficial arrangement. The vote concerns the status of the so-called surface caste. Lost to the stone, air-touched, and so forth. Centuries ago, narrow-minded men declared that any dwarf who left to live on the surface forfeited his caste, and his house if noble. That he was, in essence, no longer a dwarf. I seek only to remedy an injustice, to retie the bonds of anyone who can trace himself to one of the noble houses wherever he may live. Please, agree to speak for this noble cause. I keep my ears to the stone, my lord. I hear many things, some of which could be a great help during your mission tomorrow. A little forewarning to help your forearming, if you know what I mean. Saving for a run for the Assembly? Never mind. If hard currency is what you wish, hard currency is what you will have. How does 100 sovereigns sound? When your father presents you to the noble houses, I will ask for your opinion on the matter. You have merely to say that you feel our surface brothers should be returned their noble rights. What could be more simple?
Greetings, my Lord Idukan. It is an honor to meet you at last. Not as such, but your father never misses a chance to boast of your skill and bravery. He says you may be the most skilled warrior in all of House Idukan. Your humility aside, I have no doubt you will be a fighter of great renown. We need more Grey Wardens like you, and quickly. Even as the Darkspawn weaken here in Ozamor, they are stirring on the surface. A blight has begun. Soon the fight must go beyond the deep roads, lest the Darkspawn threaten all the world. No one is safe from a blight. If the Darkspawn overrun the surface lands, they will return in even greater numbers. Ozamor would perish along with the rest. None of our lands is truly self-sufficient. You know of our dedication to destroying the Darkspawn, our frontline presence during a blight. What else would you know? Over the centuries, many dwarves have made names for themselves in our order. These days, however, there are fewer dwarves and thus even fewer dwarven Grey Wardens. A pity, since dwarven warriors have the most experience fighting Darkspawn. I'm afraid not. Grey Wardens go where they're needed most. Right now, that is on the surface at the ruins of Ostagar, where the human king gathers his armies to face the blight. Being a Grey Warden means abandoning all ties to your old life. It means dedicating yourself to destroying the Darkspawn. Then it is a good thing that you have other paths before you. Some are not so lucky. I wish you luck in the deep roads tomorrow. Show the Darkspawn the might of your people.
You're a fool. Your mother would melt the stone if she knew what you just did. Do not mock me, boy. Lord Dace is playing you false. Go ahead, be his puppet. Your first command will be marked by every major house turning their back on you. If you are to play in the games of the Assembly, make sure you know the motivations of the players. Last spring, a guild from the Merchant caste invested heavily in an expedition with a guild from the surface. Lord Dace backed the Merchant Guild, pouring a great deal of money into the venture. The expedition was a disaster. Lord Dace lost a great deal of money and prestige. The Surface Guild has no way to repay the investment, but it does have several leading members who are descended from noble houses. House Helmi, Bimo, Dukin.
She's saying that if the air-touched dwarves have their connections to their houses restored, you'll end up footing the bill for Lord Dace's disaster.
Oh, if I were 20 years younger, I'd bed you just to get some of that quick wit in my house. Your house and mine would be forced to pay the Surfacer's kin debts. It would be a great victory for Lord Dace. If you call his bluff, then you lose your chance to turn the tables. Let him think he has you. Smile and nod, and when he asks his question, tell him that the so-called Surface caste are right where they belong. That should take Lord Dace down a peg or two. You give up the initiative, but do as you must.
You return. Were my instructions unclear? And what did she have to say? I see. Some preposterous story, I'm sure. I suppose it could. I mean, well, it's the spirit of the law that's important, right? Our poor, disenfranchised service brothers. Well played, Your Highness. Welcome to Assembly politics. Now, if you'll excuse me... You've won. Don't be stupid about it.
You forget who you're speaking to. This is the guest of honor and child of the first house of Orzammar.
For now, we shall see what the future holds. Trian's grasp on the throne is in no way certain, and much can happen before then. Now let me be. You haven't made a friend here today.